Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. My fiber fun, dun dun dun. Eyes are done, dun dun dun. All right, well, you guys, we have our second merge episode, and the only time I'll ever merge episodes is if it's an emergency. This really saves time because I can give both of you guys the report at the same time. So, therefore, for those of you who are members or subscribers to both channels, you can see it on this channel or the Que-stead-Que channel, which is my homesteading gardening channel. Well, everything went well on yesterday, but let me tell you, oh, I got my butt whooped. First of all, the first thing that happened was I had a different anesthesiologist, and I thought, when you don't have the same one, things may not go according to what I expect and planned. And it didn't. He gave me the bare minimum of the Que-stead, and his biggest dose was there in the room. Remember last week when I told you that the guy said, I'm going to give you a little now. You won't feel anything, but I felt it as she was rolling me along. He said, and then I'll give you the big dose in the operating room. Well, this one, it wasn't even a big dose, but I knew it was more because the moment he shot that stuff in, zoom, I was right up in the sky. And I'm like, okay, cool. So he gonna really get down once we get into the operating room. So sure enough, they rolled me into the operating room, and my surgery this time took all of 7 minutes. The last time it took 10 minutes. And cataract surgery isn't long at all. Anyway, they get me in there. And so I remember, I'm just laying there quiet because I knew pretty much what to expect. So I'm just laying there quiet. So then the doctor comes in, he gave his greeting and everything. And he said, I know you're happy to be getting this eye done. I was like, yes, because my left eye gave up the ghost about a week ago. I said, and so that monovision that you had told me about, it was great for the first week. I was like, but after that, I was like, I couldn't drive. I didn't trust myself driving or anything. The day after I went to the liquidation store was when it really went out. And I was like, I better not get back behind the wheel for anything. So anyway, so we chit-chatted for a minute. Then he said, do you see that light above you? I was like, yeah. I was like, and why am I not out? I was like, I should be out. He was like, oh, he'll be bringing the anesthesia in a few minutes. I was like, oh, okay. He said, look at that light above you. And they started putting the sheets and all that stuff over me. He said, look at that light. He was like, and I said, okay, good night. And he started laughing. He said, good night. Okay, so they got the blanket, the warm blanket, and the sheet over me. And so I'm thinking the anesthesia guy was coming. And so apparently he did come because I don't really remember anything after that other than when I looked at the light and they started putting everything over me. But I guess I was in the twilight. I wasn't asleep after all, because all of a sudden I felt when he took that little thing to hold my eye open, I was like, stop. He was like, I was like, anesthesiologist, I was like, you better get this stuff in me. I'm like, I'm feeling everything, because it hurt. Oh, that part hurt. But only for a second. He called the guy. He was like, shoot her a little more. So apparently, I don't know if he had shot me or not, but he hadn't shot me enough. And then he still didn't shoot enough, because next thing I know, I'm waking up again. I was like, doctor? He said, what? And he was in my eye at the time because I could see his finger or whatever with this eye. I'm like, why am I woke again? And he looked, he was like, well, we're finishing up. And so he finished up, and next thing I know, when they wheeled me back to the room, I was wide awake and everything. So they didn't waste no time. It's like they supposed to let you recover for 30 minutes. But since I was woke, she was like, well, we getting ready to get ready. So she started reading the instructions, and I'm nodding out on her and carrying on. And so she was like, I'll give everything to your sister. And so she helped me with my coat. Next thing I know, I'm being wheeled out the door. So we were out of there, although I had to be there an hour later. This time I had to be there at 1:30 instead of 12:30. We were out of there before 3 o'clock once again. So Sherry said we were only there like maybe an hour and a half, if that. So that was it. So the surgery went well, but where I got my butt whooped, oh, when that numbness wore off, when I got home, oh man, my eye hurt. It felt like somebody was taking a little chisel and going ding, ding. Remember when I had that eye attack a few weeks ago with this eye? This eye did the same thing. That's what it felt like, but it wasn't quite as bad as that eye, but it was bad enough to where it bothered me. And so I ended up going through the rest of this. It's a little bit left, and I have another bottle of this. It's like every few minutes I'm dropping this in. Oh, you talk about the medicine burning. Oh my God. But I got through 4 doses yesterday, so I got through day 1 of it. Technically, I should have been on day 1 today because, but they told me if you can tolerate it, you can do your doses every 2 hours for the first day, and then, start with your second day to put you a little bit ahead. And I did it. I made it. But boy, it kicked my butt, and it's still kicking my butt. But I'm using these drops. In fact, it's time now, y'all. Y'all gotta excuse me because it hurts, okay? And I'll show this to y'all in a minute. But I may as well do the drop on camera. Y'all can see. And basically, all I do is I hold up the mirror like this. Oops. I guess I'm out of this now because I just heard it shoot air. Wait a minute. I'm out. Hold on, y'all. They gave me some samples too in the place, but I don't like the samples because they came in these little plastic tubes. I'll show them to you. They gave me 20 of these, and so I mean, if it's an emergency, I'll use them, but I'm kind of scared to put those plastic things by my eye because what if I don't see? Because now I do need the readers, and so everything's a blur. And so I'd rather use this because I can see the tip of it and I can see the drop as it's coming out. Ah, perfect. Ah. And this is a gel. That the ones that they gave me is just a liquid. So I like the gel because it coats the eye real fast and then it goes down slowly like it's doing now, and it feels good right on contact. Okay, I can carry on now. Sorry about that, putting y'all through all that. Anyway, back to the glasses. But before we get back to the glasses, here's my eye patch, and I've got to wash it. I've got 4 of these actually, but I'm going to wash this one and use it and put my other tape around it instead of the paper tape. So I'm going to wash this. But anyway, the eye patch goes on like this. I have to sleep with it for 5 nights. And they actually patched how I ended up with 4. They patched my right eye shortly before the surgery, and they just wanted it protected during the surgery, because anything could have happened. So they both this one was patched during the surgery, and then when I came out of surgery, just that one was patched. They had taken the patch off of this one. But anyway, you can look at it. It's still fully dilated. So when I went for my follow-up on today, hold on, let me wipe this stuff from my mouth. When I went for my follow-up today, he's like, you are still fully dilated. Now, my other eye was a little bit dilated, but it was enough for me to read 20/20. Today, I couldn't read nothing out of this eye. I told him, listen, we'll have to get my little vision number when I go back on the 14th. And that's my final appointment for him to make sure that he doesn't have to hit it with the laser for the secondary cataract, which is when scar tissue begins to form right in the spot where the cataract lens go. Some people have that. It's a 50-50 chance. Some people don't. And you usually know within a couple of weeks of the second surgery. So, and if that's the case, that's a 1-minute procedure where they just hit it with the laser real quick, knock that scar tissue off, and then your vision is back clear. So you don't have to be dilated or anything for that. They just do it. They numb the eye. Anyway, so you can look at this eye at the pupil I don't know if you could tell, but he said your eye is still fully dilated. And I had more swelling last night. My whole face was swollen, but the swelling is going down. I think I'm gonna be symmetrical again, so thank goodness for that. And I got this phone backwards again, so it looks like I'm looking to the side. But as you can see, this both eyes look to be almost the same size now, so I'll be symmetrical. So I'm happy about that. And most importantly, he did my eye pressures today after he numbed my eyes. The numbing has since worn off, but it felt good when he numbed them because I couldn't feel anything in this eye. But my pressures in both eyes were totally normal at 13. He said, "You're doing good." So that ocular hypertension with the cataracts, that was the cause of my eye pressures being up to, one was 27 and I think the other one was like 29, and you're considered having glaucoma if you hit 31 or 32 and above. So I was headed in that direction, but now I'm going in reverse. So thank God for that. That's the most important thing. The cataract part, that's the bonus because now I can see. Only thing I have to use my cheaters, as my doctor called it. He's like, "I'm glad you have them around your neck." Now, one thing about the readers, the 2.5, I can see perfectly out of these. So this works. I just have to look at a little distance. And he told me that that's going to clear up. He said you'll be able to look up closer as both of your eyes continue to heal. So anyway, so that's basically it. Let me put my glasses back on because he did tell me to wear them because my eyes are still dilated. And since the sun is shining right through my window here, I said I better wear them because they do feel better with the glasses on. So I'm thankful for everything. Everything went well. We'll keep our fingers crossed that, no complications set in. I don't think they will. I feel good. I was so happy to eat yesterday. We ended up getting some ribs, and I brought most of them home because my sister got some chicken, and it was some other stuff there, so we just chomped on that. So I brought my ribs home, and I got me some coffee ice cream, Que-stead-Qu'ers. So y'all know, I can't drink the coffee. I tried it, can't drink it, but that coffee ice cream, I got a little sample cup, and I'm going to enjoy that today for my snack. And then my sister had went to Chicago last week, and she brought me back some of that Garrett's popcorn. So I've got that to snack on. It's in a plastic bag, and as you can see, I've almost finished it. So I'm straight. And then, of course, I've got my groceries and everything. So I am happy and delighted, and I can see. So the doctor told me, he said, once your dilation goes down tomorrow, he said, you could drive again once that's over. He said, I was like, how will I know? He said, oh, you'll know. He said, your eye looks good. He said, my assumption is that this eye is going to be just as good as that eye. He said, and he was like, you haven't seen anything yet. He said, just wait until you have the vision in both eyes. He said, it's going to be crisp, clear, and wonderful for you. He said the basic lens worked really well for you. Okay, so, and what was the other thing? It was something else. Oh, I told him, I was like, okay, now, when can I go fishing? Because, JD and I, we're raring to get on the water. We had already planned to go towards the end of April. And I said, to be nice, I'm treating. I was like, I'll treat the first trip. We do that from time to time. He'll treat sometimes. I'll treat sometimes. I was like, so I'll treat the first trip. I was like, let's plan to go on, because my final appointment is the 14th. I was like, let's plan to go on the 15th. Well, we going twice now, JD, if you see this video, because he released me to fish. So now I will, he said, as long as he said, and for here on in, he's like, make it a habit. He said, whenever you fish, he said, always wear either safety glasses, goggles, or sunglasses at the very least. He said, because you never want to get an eye injury. He said, you don't want to get dirt in your eye. And I've never had that to happen before. Where's my Kleenex? I've never had that to happen before, but y'all know I got buzzard's luck. Now would be the time. Every time I look up, something to be coming towards my eye, okay? Then you got other fishing people. JD and I are kid magnets, so kids are always around us. That's why we try to fish during the week. Right now it's great because school is still in session, but when school is out, we don't fish. We don't fish early. We'll fish late because kids, they gravitate to us. They always do, and their parents be sitting somewhere just having a good old time, not saying anything. And we be telling the kids, get back over there with your parent. We're trying to fish. We want to see you. Can I have a worm? They just bug us to death. And I told JD we're just kid magnets. And sometimes we just leave and we'll go somewhere else, or we'll make sure we go somewhere late, or when we know kids aren't going to be there, that type of thing. We like kids, don't get me wrong, and we're very friendly. And kids can feel your vibe. That's the thing. Kids can feel because I've always been a kid magnet. Babies, you know how some babies turn away from you and don't want nothing to do with you? Not me. All babies come to me. All of them. So I've always been a baby magnet, a kid magnet, and I think kids can feel your spirit or whatever. If you're jolly or if they think that you're, happy or whatever, they can feel that. And so babies have always come to me. And then, like I said, the kids, same thing. And I worked with children, and wait a minute, the children, I worked with some teachers because I was a teacher assistant for a long time before I started doing other things with the school district. But when I was a teacher assistant, half the time the teacher couldn't control the class. That's why they had me up in there, and the kids would just gravitate to me. Never any problems. If I missed a day, I come back to teacher. Oh, I'm so happy you're back. The kids were so misbehaved. I'm like, I couldn't understand it because they behaved with me. I never had a problem with kids. But anyway, wait a minute. I'm down the rabbit hole once again, telling y'all a story within a story. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, I'm wiping my nose because I have postnasal drip from the eye drop. Anyway, so I can fish. So JD, get ready. We're getting ready to go next, next Friday. We're going to go next Friday. So get ready if you see this video, but I'll be calling him later anyway to let him know we're hitting the island. So I'll do a video there so y'all can see me in action fishing. We fish for panfish, bluegill, crappie, anything pan-wise, and we'll take whatever we get. But we don't fish the big waters because y'all know Michigan is the Great Lakes state. We have big waters, small waters, all that. So to get to the island, we have to go across the ferry. And so the Que-stead-Que people, they've seen me many times go on that fishing trip. But now that I have this 6-foot tall tripod, I can set that thing up and y'all can see us in action. Because at the island where we like to go, the bluegills are just humongous, plate size, and we just love catching them. So we do the island in the early spring. In fact, I'm behind. JD has been up there a few times, and so has Robert. I haven't fished, and so I'm behind. I should have been starting in March for at least 2 trips, but I'll get 2 trips in April, and then we're done after that. JD fishes in the summer, but he doesn't fish at the island because the weeds and snakes and all that come, because these are in little canals where we fish and creeks. And then when we fish during the summer, we'll fish at the bigger lakes, but we don't fish in the big rough seas. We call it the sea, but it's actually just the big lakes, Great Lakes. So we'll be fishing the spillway. We'll be fishing just like local lakes. We pretty much branch off on our own. We might run into each other, but then at the end, we all hook up again. In fact, there's been a few times where JD, Robert, and we just hooked up at the island where we're all just there. But JD and I will usually ride together. And so I'll drive there and JD will drive back. But anyway, we start back at the island. Last year we started in October, but I think we can get by with starting in September. And we fish all the way up until it snows. And once it snows, that's it. Then we're done. So that's when we get our winter stock done. So y'all see me take various trips, through the summer, and whatnot, if that's something you like to see, me fishing. But anyway, so look for us doing it next week because it's happening. That's for sure. Unless JD decides he doesn't want to go. Oh, and it's supposed to be 70 on next Friday too. So that's the reason why I picked Friday to go. Because right now we're back in winter. It's only like 40 degrees. It's sunny and everything, but it is by no means warm. So those fish will bite once it's in the low 70s. They're going to really come up and they're going to be hungry. So we're going to blast them. It's guaranteed. Okay, so let me get off of here because I'm just talking too much. I cannot see how many minutes. Wait, yes, I can. Got to do all this now. 19, 20 minutes on the nose. Okay, we're ending it. Okay, you guys, you all have a wonderful day and may God bless you all. I'm getting ready to eat and then I may take a nap. I'm not sleepy right now, but if I get sleepy, I'm going to take a nap. So I will talk to you later. Keep me in prayer. I'm doing good. And I will talk to you later this week. My Fiber Fun. I'm going to come on with that pre-story probably on tomorrow, on Thursday or Friday. I'm going to do the pre-story and then that'll be it with that. And then we're going to wrap up on Sunday. So I will talk to you guys later and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.